If you've ever wondered how you can take what you have right now in this moment, in this day, and multiply it even as a single mom, then this video is for you, so stay tuned. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been rocking with me for a long time, thank you so much. My name is Latarsha, and I am a single mom empowerment coach. I'm on a mission to empower single moms to live thriving lives so that they can raise thriving children. And today I want to talk about how you can take what you have right now in your current situation and multiply it so that you can bring abundance to you and your children. It doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter if you have a little. It doesn't matter if you have a lot. It doesn't matter if you don't have anything. But I want you, as you listen to this video, to change your perspective on what you have. God has given all of us something. He's given all of us time. He's given all of us some type of resources, whether that be money, whether that be some type of gift. He's given us something that he expects us to take and multiply. I know a lot of us as single moms, we make being a single mom an excuse. How many times have you heard a woman say, "Oh, I'm just a single mom, so I can't afford to do this. I'm a single mom. I can't afford to buy that home. I can't be a homeowner. I'm a single mom. I can't afford to put my kids in private school." It's always what they cannot afford to do or what they cannot do because they are a single mom. And I want to tell you right now that this is the wrong mindset. And if you've been listening to me for a while, or if you have just tuned in and you planning on listening for some more time, then you'll realize that I don't take being a single mom as an excuse. I really don't like it when single moms use that as an excuse to do something because, as I mentioned, God has given all of us something that we can use. And not only are we supposed to take it and multiply it, God expects us to multiply it. In Matthew 25:14-28, God talks about the three people who he loaned some money. And again, in that case, it doesn't have to only be money. It could be time, it could be a gift, it could be a talent. Whatever it is, God expects us to multiply it. So the three things we can take and apply to our life from the story of the talents is that God gives us according to our abilities, and he expects us to multiply it, not hide it. The second thing is that he give it to us and we multiply it, he's going to give us more. And the third thing that we can learn is that whatever he's given us, if we take it and hide it, he's going to take even what we have and give it to someone else. So let's talk about these three aspects of the story of the talents. One, when God gives us according to our abilities, he's given us our gifts, our talents, our resources according to how we can handle it. So I know that we're living in a social media age, and a lot of us, we tend to look at social media and get jealous of what everybody else have, or we tend to look at the next single mom and get jealous or upset because we feel that that single mom has more than us. But do we know her story? Do we know what she's been through? Do we know how she took that tiny seed that God has given her and planted it, and now she's harvesting abundance? Do we know any of that? Some of us, God has given us a seed and we've taken it and we've hid it because we're scared. We're scared to come out of our comfort zone, or we're scared to put ourselves out there. We're scared of what family and friends is going to say. We're scared what people on the internet is going to say. So we take what God has given us. We take that gift of empowering people. We take that gift of encouraging people. We take that gift of showing people how to do a certain thing, or we take that gift of making people beautiful or feel good about themselves, and we hide it. One of the ladies in the Single Mothers Thriving group on Facebook, if you're not a part of that group, check the link in the comments and go ahead and join that group. She told me that she got her cosmetology license a couple of years ago, and she hasn't done anything with it because she's afraid of what the people on social media will think. She allowed them to keep her in her little bubble. And that is a gift that God has given her. And that's what I told her. She cannot allow people to keep her stuck and to allow her to hide what God has given her that will multiply, not only for her, but for her children. And it will multiply her life so that it can multiply onto others, which is God's plan when he gives us a gift. If you're like her, then I want you to really go into, open your Bible if you have one, to read Matthew 25:14-28, the story of the talent, so that you can see what God expects you to do with your gift. The biggest thing that hold people back is being afraid of what other people will think. We really underestimate ourselves and our abilities as people, especially as people of God. We underestimate our abilities of what we can do and how we can do it. And so many people die with their gifts and their dreams dormant. They die. A lot of dreams and visions are in the grave because people are afraid of other people, the opinions of other people. So if you're listening to me today, girl, I want you to let go of that fear. Ask God to help you to take your trust out of man and to put your trust into him. And I want you to do one thing. Take one step today that's going to help you get over that fear. Whether that's taking your vision and putting it on paper, write it on paper and read it. And yes, I wanted to scare you. I wanted to scare you, and I want you to also imagine your life if you go ahead and take that first step with that dream, that gift, that talent, that vision that God has given you, and put it to work. Okay, put it to work, because again, we know that God gives us according to our ability. And I don't want you to be afraid or think that what God has given you is insignificant compared to someone else. I want you to stay in your own lane, and I want you to focus on you. I want you to look straight ahead, not to the left, not to the right, because comparison can definitely kill your dreams. It can kill your joy, and it can kill your ability to move forward with God has given you. So stop the comparison, okay? Know that God has given you according to your ability to handle it, and as you multiply it, he will give you more. So that leads me to the second point. When we multiply what God has given us, then God will give us more. So let's say that God has given you the gift to go out and teach people how to organize their homes. When you have that gift and that dream, you are probably not going to have any clients. You're not going to have any customers. But what you do have is that gift and that dream. We're going to start there, okay? So what you can do is you can teach people. Get out of that comfort zone, get out of that fear, and teach people how to organize their home, how to organize their lives, how to declutter, or whatever your method is. And God, over time, will bring people into your life. He will bring you customers. He will bring you people who's going to refer you. And over time, you're going to build upon that. Because again, God say when you take what he has given you and you go and do something with it, you go and you multiply it, then God in return is also going to multiply it. So we cannot expect God to take something that we have and bless it and multiply upon it if we're not doing our part. You and God are a team. You do your part to go out and do what you can do to multiply whatever he gave you. It necessarily don't have to be a gift. It don't have to be a talent. Maybe he put a book in your head and he said, okay, I want you to start writing this book. But you haven't started yet because you're afraid of what people going to say. Or you're afraid that you cannot do it. Or you just procrastinate. Or, some people, they had a gift and they had a dream, but they think the book is going to write itself. But it's not. So whatever God has given you, I want you to go out and I want you to take the first step towards multiplying. And I believe that as you take that first step, God is going to show you the second step. He's going to show you the third step. I remember when I first came into this entrepreneur journey, I wasn't, I was only focusing on a 9 to 5. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I believe that we all are supposed to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. And a lot of people, 9 to 5s has allowed them to become their own boss. So a 9 to 5 can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse if you're stressed out and if it's affecting your health. Then it could be a curse. You need to go find another 9 to 5. But I wasn't focused on being my own. I wasn't focused on being a business owner, only a consumer. And when God introduced the idea to me, He introduced it through, I first started listening to Ashley Empowers. She's on YouTube. I love her. And then I started listening to Heather Lindsay. And God spoke through them to me regarding entrepreneurship, especially Ashley Empowers. He spoke through them and I started getting into it. And I didn't know what I was doing at first, but I was willing to open the books and I was willing to learn everything I needed to learn. Mindset, sales, marketing, storytelling, all of that. I was willing to learn it. And it's a lifelong journey, but I was willing to learn it because I liked cosmetology. So I started selling hair. I started doing hair a little bit. I started doing nails, selling lashes, doing lashes out of my apartment. And I had an entire business in my apartment. And God blessed it, y'all. When I tell you I was not only overbooked, but I was, I was blessed financially, blessed so much to the point that my check, it paid my bills. And I actually had my bills on auto pay, my rent, auto pay. I didn't even realize it was coming out of my account because that's just how well God had blessed my business. And He blessed my business because He gave me the idea. He planted the idea in my head and I acted upon it. And I began to multiply it. And then God began to multiply it. No, I didn't sell the best hair. I look back at the pictures, I didn't even do the best nails, but I had women coming to me and they were purchasing the hair. They were coming to me to get their nails done. They were coming to me to get their lashes done. And it was all a God thing because He began to supernaturally multiply what I was doing because I took what He had gave me and I acted upon it, and I did not shrink or hide because I was afraid of what people were going to say, or I was afraid that people would not buy what I had. I believed that God told me to do it and I did it. I sold through Facebook and God used one of my close friends to tell me like, hey, you should sell in this group. This is where my boyfriend sells, because he sells hair too, and he sells in this group and he makes a lot of sales. And once she told me that, business took off for me. Most of my clients came from that group. So saying that to say this, whatever God has placed in your heart to do, do it. Take the first step and don't expect it to take off, the next day. Maybe not the next week. But you got to understand that if you stay consistent at it and if you keep doing it, God is going to multiply it. Don't allow that gift or that talent to lay dormant. Because a lot of single moms are in a rough place financially because we're only expecting the government to help us. We're expecting our job to be our hero. But nobody is going to come rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. And it begins with taking action and not depending on someone else. You have to create an opportunity for you to come out of the financial hole or the living situation or whatever situation that you're in. That's up to you. You and God. God is your partner. Or if you're watching this video, maybe He led you here for a reason so that you can get up and get some things done. Take heed of what He has given you, and you have to use it to multiply it and allow God to supernaturally multiply it. Number 3, third thing we can learn from the story of the talents is when we don't use what we have given wisely, then God takes it from us and He will give it to the next person who will use what He has given them. I'm going to use myself as an example for this one. So I started my YouTube in 2018. There's been some times when I have not been consistent with getting on here and pouring it to y'all as God poured to me, because it's my mission and it's my purpose. There's been some times when I haven't done it. When I have not done it, when I stay away from YouTube a long time, I notice that I no longer have the ability to speak, or I no longer have the wisdom that I need to speak to y'all. Because if you watch most of my videos, it's some wisdom in those videos. So when I go back and watch them, I'm like, wow, God, you really spoke through me. Or like, you really gave me that to say, because I don't know where it came from, okay? Now, some of it is life experience. Some of it is the things I see. Or some of it is, examples from people I talk to, or the things or the lives I see people around me live, or other single moms I talk to. But the majority of it is wisdom and knowledge and understanding that only can come from God. And when I don't utilize that, then I notice that I don't have it. When I'm not in my Bible, when I'm not talking to God, when I'm not coming on here trying to encourage and empower y'all, then I notice that when I do try to come on here and speak, I can't post it because it wasn't flowing. It wasn't flowing from the right place. There's been plenty of times where I haven't uploaded a video because it wasn't flowing how I needed it to flow. It was all over the place. And that's because I wasn't using what God has given me wisely. Like I'm focused on everything else, but I'm not focused on doing what God told me to do. Or I'm not focused on the vision that God has given me, which is to empower other single moms. So I want you to use what God has given you wisely, because if you don't, again, he will take it from you and give it to somebody else who will. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my gift, my talent, my resources to be taken from me and given to the next person who's actually going to use it, because my gift is going to sit me in front of kings. And I want to be sitting in front of kings, right? I want to be sitting in front of important people who can get me to the next level so that I can reach more people. Because I know that it's not all about me. It's not all about you neither. There's people who's waiting on you to take what God has given you and to utilize it. They're waiting on you to stop shrinking in fear because of your fear of other people, or your fear that you are not going to do it right, or you wanting to be perfect. Wait till the perfect time. They're waiting on you to get over all that and use what God has given you, because their blessing or their life changes depending on you. So I want you to also think about that. Before I go, I want to let you know about the Single Mother's Life newsletter. Every single week, you'll get empowerment and encouragement sent straight to your inbox. I don't know about you, but as a single mom, I always need empowerment and encouragement. And if it can come from another single mother, then that's definitely a plus, because if nobody understands what we go through as single moms, another single mom will. So check the link in the description box if you made it this far, and be sure to join the Single Mothers Thriving weekly newsletter. I love you, ladies, and consider what we talked about in this video, because we have things to do. We have gifts, we have talents, we have resources that we have to put to use so that we can multiply, that we can break some generational curses and break the cycle for our next generation. I love you, ladies, and I will talk to you in my next video. Oh, and if you have not subscribed yet, why not?